Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And I feel kind of bad because yesterday's video was very distracting for me and for a lot of viewers, and I feel bad about that. And so, huh. So I want to talk about what I talked about yesterday, but I also want to expand it because yesterday I said some things that I didn't get to complete my thoughts. Hey, Cheyenne, I wondered if you'd be on. As I wanted to share my thoughts a little more clearly and with more thought to them. Okay, so yesterday I was talking about purpose and what the purpose of life is. The purpose of life is to experience life. In essence, the purpose of life is to be. It's to be the being that you are, to be the person you were designed to be. So inside of us is this incredible being of light. This being is light, love, joy, peace, like all of those amazing things that we all strive to be. That's inside of us. And the purpose of life is to be that person. Okay? So I talked yesterday. I'm going to save doing for a minute because we have the purpose of life is to be. In the books of scriptures that I read the most, I do follow the Bible, but I also have another set of scriptures that supports the Bible. And in that set of scriptures, we have a verse that says, men are that they might have joy. So the whole purpose of existing is having joy, according to that scripture. And so how does that work? You cannot have something unless you are something. So in order to have joy, you must be joy. Well, you already are joy, so it's just a matter of acknowledging it, taking off the goopy stuff that gets in the way of us being who we are. And so the purpose of life is to be joy, be love, be peace, be who we are. And then lets us to have joy because we have the most joy when we are being who we are. We have the most joy when we are being who we are. And what happens then? And this is why it doesn't matter what you do in life. Because if you are fulfilling your life purpose of being the light that you are, then you will have joy. And when you have that joy, and when you have those incredible feelings, the peace, the love, the joy, your next thing that you just automatically do is doing. You want everybody to also experience this incredible feeling that you have. And so you automatically are doing the things that you need to do in your life. And that's why the purpose of life is not to do certain things. The purpose of life is to be who you were meant to be. And when you be who you are, funny to say, but I don't know how else to say it. When you be who you are, you automatically do the things that you want to do. You automatically are teaching people. You're automatically inspiring people and encouraging people. You're automatically helping people just by being you. You first just being you invites other people to be who they are just by the nature of vibration. If you've ever played with a tuning fork, if you have multiple tuning forks in a room and you hit the one that rings at a C, all the other people with tuning forks that are tuned to a C, they all start ringing as well. So when you're being your light, everybody else who has light, which is everybody else who has light, they start feeling that ring inside of them. It starts called forth that light so that light can begin to shine. So just being your light helps other people be their light. Okay, so that's one thing. Just having joy helps you encourage other people to have joy. And then automatically the things that you choose to do with your life are exactly the kind of things that you want to do with your life. That's just the way it works. So the purpose of life is not to do anything. You're not going to get up to heaven and report you're going to report like, I did this and I experienced this and this is what's happened, but it's not going to be, oh man, I didn't do that. I agreed before I came to earth, I'm going to do this thing and I didn't do it. Because what you agreed to do what you agreed to before you came to earth was you agreed to be a certain way. You agreed to be a kind person. You agreed to be a loving person. You agreed to experience joy. You agreed to experience these kind of things. By doing so, you also agreed into some situations to help you uncover and really kind of learn what that means, because sometimes we don't fully get a concept until we feel the opposite of the concept. And so we kind of agreed with, like, we're going to go down and experience this horrible thing because we want to know what it feels like to feel love, even when we felt like we were unloved as a child, or we want to feel like we belong, even though we felt like we were outcasts as a child, or we feel like we want to have experienced choice in the most expansive opportunity of choice. But often people who wanted to experience that as a being came into situations where, as a young person, they didn't have any choice. And a part of that is, this is the training to help us to really choose to experience those ways of being. So that's really what it really is. It was pretty fun having my daughter watch live. That was fun. She was on live yesterday, and now she's watching live. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you're understanding this, because this was really important for me, because I had a huge fear of dying. I had a fear of death. And when I really looked at what was so scary about dying, it was the idea that I'm going to get back there and report and be failing, basically, that I failed my life, that I didn't do what I said I was going to do. And the conversation kind of went like, well, what if you're not meant to do anything? What if you're just meant to be? What if you're just meant to experience life? What would bring you the most joy? I promise, if you ask what would bring me the most joy, not necessarily happiness. There's a difference between joy and happiness. If you ask what will bring me the most joy, you will get things that will cause you to do incredible things with your life. You will do things that are a little scary sometimes, because when you ask that question about joy, your soul's going to be looking at the big picture, not just this moment. We kind of are in the all now, but just like the only moment is now, there's also no now as far as the soul's concerned. And so the soul's like, well, you want the most joy, you're going to have to go through this really tough moment right here. You're going to have to call that person that scares you to call. And it may not feel like joy, but when you get done with that call, that's the joy you're seeking. That's what you're seeking. And so we ask, what would bring me the most joy in this moment? And sometimes what would bring us the most joy is not a fun thing, but it would bring us ultimately the most joy. And that's what it's about. That's what life is about. It's about experiencing. It's about being. It's about doing your best, whatever your best is right now. So being the best you can be. And if you get to the other side and you didn't gain an enlightenment, it's going to be okay, because as long as you were doing your best. And the fact that you are existing in life, unless you consciously choose some really crappy things, chances are you're doing your best. And so that's pretty exciting. I think that's really good news. So that's what I have to share with you today. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys very much. And I hope that it makes sense. I hope that I'm able to clearly express the thoughts that I have going on in my mind. Thank you so much for being here, and I love you guys so much. I think I've said that like 10 times, right? Remember to let your soul shine big, bright, light, and beautiful. Be the incredible you that you were designed to be. Like I said, be you. See you next time.